I think I got all the pieces pulled. So I mentioned that I got 2 of these in a Bricklink order because I wanted to complete my rocket launcher, where I used a 2x4 hinge brick and then, or plate, and then a 2x4 plate because it needed to be 2x8. But I ordered 2, so I thought, well, I got 2 and I got 1. I had to go find the actual rocket launcher in my bins. I just felt like building one because I can. So I used my other one and I put it here, and of course I got all the parts here. I'm just doing a last verification, going through my Peeron.com, Peeron, Peeron.com, for the 6881 lunar rocket launcher. I mentioned the other day that I remember buying this one off the shelf, the store shelf, because I needed it for the movie so I could blow things up. And so here we go. I'm going to start building and talking and building and see what happens. Because I just feel like it. And it is quintessentially a cool set. I did like it because it did, it took the original rocket launcher and made it better, and again, there wasn't too much wrong with the original rocket launcher, except you had to take apart the rocket to get it off the rocket launcher, which I always found to be a little bit meh. But again, I can't fault it for the time it was made. First kick at the can, as they say, and it was the first kick at the can for Lego, the classic space original sets. And so I'm not going to fault them too much at all. And that goes there. And I tried, again, with these sets that I'm reconstituting from my collection, because, again, I'm, just pulling from my lots, my bins over here, that I'm trying to find the best pieces I have without putting too much effort into it, because I'm sure I could find better pieces. But, wow, I can't believe I forgot that. Oh, there's 2 of those. Okay, wow, look at me go. Look at me not paying attention to that was only 1. I should have got 2. Uno momento. There we go. 2 1x4 bricks. I pulled out 1. Silly me. Where are we here? And then we got these 2 here. There and there. And again, I tried to get my white 2x2 round bricks as best as possible, but in the end I used up so many in the layout that unfortunately I do not have too many left over of the 2x2 round bricks, white, but I'm not going to lose too much sleep over that. And then I think the red go here. Yep, right there and there. The string wheel goes on front. String goes there. And then, oh yes, so not original, secondhand, or not secondhand, brand new, but from Amazon, I think, or Temu, whatever. 4 or 5 millimeter rubber hose. I did a video about it, but it was as close to Lego original as possible, and I'm happy I did it, because now I get to do this stuff that I couldn't because I was out of the original black hose that they used. I got lots of dark gray from my pneumatic stuff, but it's fine. There we go. Get in there. There we go. Done. And then the 2 guys go at the front. I go on the. Oh, I should put this right in scene. Duh. Been building this off camera. Let me get this on camera. Silly me again. Next. 7. Yeah, these things go in here. There. I believe these were for stabilizers, the gray guns, just so when you're launching a rocket, they would stabilize the the platform so the rocket could launch, you know, stuff like that. Lego tried to make some really, really cool, interesting ideas overall, and I'm so happy they did. Why? I got those parts wrong, didn't I? Oh, no, it says need to. Okay. The other one will show up at some point. All right, so that's right. I'm going back to bed. And then this one here and here, and then this whole fancy thing in the middle. I used to be able to build a lot of these sets from memory because I built them so much back in the day when we were doing the movies and stuff. But I will say that over the years, I have forgotten some of the sets that I did not build a lot overall, like repetitively. The 6890, could build it in my sleep. Could build it with my eyes closed. The colors might not be right, but I could actually build that many, many times over. And the 918 is just, you know, whatever. Again, I would probably mix up the 1x4 bricks with the LO918 on it, with the blank 1x4 bricks. But in the end, I would definitely be able to build that one in its entirety with my eyes closed, without issue. There are, again, not too many sets out there, a few that I would be able to do without issue with my eyes closed. But this one, I would have thought would have been one of them, but no, it's not, because it has been far too long since I built it. And this goes up front, right there, done. Look at that, look at that. And then these would go here. And again, so this is reminiscent of my building technique when I was younger, and I'm not doing it now because I'm far too lazy. But when I used to build these things, I used to make sure the logo, the Lego logo, was legible. Like it was, you know, like the letters would be parallel to the ground. So this one, not even close. But I used to do that all the time with the 1x1 trans red and trans green bricks or plates, and the 1x1 trans round trans plates. I would make sure that the logo was parallel to the ground. And up here too. I would absolutely do that with every single build I did. But then I was young and foolish and, you know, whatever. So I do not do that anymore, because I'm just me. I don't need to anymore. I just want to build, have fun building, and that goes there. I did find when I was building this that two more blanks, that I am very, very low, and I didn't try to look past the time I found one of these 1x1 round bricks with fins on it, the mini rocket thruster. I didn't find more than one in my round bin. Now again, when I store it like Jeff, at some point in my life, I might find more. But today is not that day, so I only found one, and c'est la vie. It is what it is. And, you know, I can't complain too much because I did find one relatively easy. I'm sure if I looked harder, I would have found another one, but that's fine. It is, again, as I keep on saying, what it is. Again, do this on camera. This is an absolutely fantastic set. That goes back there. We'll put this over here. Get the white guy, which I grabbed off my wall. And there we go. 16881. Fantastic set. I do like this one. That is my last shield, my last trans red shield. I think I have a 6971 that's missing a trans red shield, but I probably got this after in a different lot, so doesn't matter. I got another one of these just because I wanted to. I already did a review on it. You can go find it, the 6881 rocket launcher. I really do appreciate Lunar Rocket Launcher 6881. I really do appreciate this set, mostly because it was in the movie, mostly because I got it specifically for the movie because I needed something to blow up the bad guy ship, and this was this was it. The second I saw it, I said, "Oh, I'm gonna need that set for the movie." So that's why I bought it. And like I said, I built 2 vehicles for these guys. I pulled out some tires for the Blacktron 2, but I only had 4 black ones, so I'm going to substitute 2 dark belay ones until I find more black ones. And sometimes I'll find them at the Brick Shack, and sometimes they show up in used lots, but I know I didn't get them in this lot, so so I know I'm going to need those when I reconstitute that set, so I pulled those to see what I had. Other than that, I have, yeah, there we go. We do have some time. Yeah, I'm not going to do it now. Another shorter video. So that's fantastic. And before I sign off, I'm just going to hold this very, very close. And you can see that overall, the parts are good. Now, the white fins, I'm running low, so I have to use what I have. And they're sometimes yellowed, and that is what it is. But other than that, the rest of the pieces are pretty much good. I'm happy with it. And it's going to go into the classic space tote in the garage. Not take up too much space, but and again, I couldn't tell you how many of these I have. I don't know how accurate my spreadsheet is anymore. I keep on reconstituting sets as I feel like it. Let's see if I can find Excel really, really quickly. Start. I think it's, again, I have to figure out, like Jeff is going to teach me sometime. Microsoft Excel, that's how old this computer is. Microsoft Office. Oh my goodness, I have to find Office. Microsoft, come on. I thought I had Office on this guy. Maybe I don't have Office on this guy. Maybe I did it on a different machine. Type in here, Excel. 2016, that's how old this laptop is. It's pretty old. Space sets, there we go. I did it on this one. I'm gonna close that. Right now I got view by page break. It's just, I can't believe I keep on doing that. 6881. According to this, I'm gonna have to sort by set number. 6881. That should make it easier for me to find. Scrolling. Keep those things scrolling. 6881. It says I have 3, and now I have 4. What's age? Total. Okay, it's total. 6881. Again, I think I have multiple copies of the spreadsheet now, which is going to drive me nuts. So now I have 4. I have 4 in storage. It is what it is. I'm going to see right now, sorry, really quick, while I still have you here. Blacktron 2. Spectral Star Glider, I think that's what it's called. Yes, so I have 4 of those. I remember reconstituting them, and I made a video about it. And now I'm going to have 5, but I'm not going to put 5 there until I complete it. So, I'm going to talk about this again really quickly. To make this slightly longer. I'm very, very picky right now. I mentioned this a few times. I'm very, very picky about the lots I get off the marketplaces and wherever else I'm going to get them from, because I have all the sets. I don't think there's a single set out there that I don't have that's in my range of sets that I want. Yes, I don't have all Life on Mars. And yes, I don't have all Mars missions. And yes, I do not have all of Space Police 3. But those, for me, were well outside my range of interest. I mean, I do like them. I've seen them. Galaxy Squad, I guess that's the fourth series that came out. I think, okay, let's put it this way. Classic Space, 1978, boom. Me, I'm 11 or 12, whatever. And then I started by my own when I was 13, 14, 15, blah, 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 as time goes by. And then we made the movie when I was 16, Pete, Jake, and I think I was 16 or 17, in my dad's basement. And then I started, when I moved out when I was 20, 21, I had my ping pong table in the spare bedroom, blah, blah, blah. You heard all the stories. I had my own space. And I was buying lots of used lots. And the used lots, because I put the ad in the paper, there was no internet. I couldn't see pictures of the lot before I went to their house to pick it up. They would call me, hey, Dave, I'm over on Smith Road. Look for the farmhouse. Perfect. Drive out there, and he'd come out with a big cardboard box. And back then, there was no Mega Block. There was no Build to Roll. There's no all the other third-party crap. So it was Lego. And sometimes there'd be Hot Wheels in there, and like a couple pegs from Battleship, and Monopoly houses, like literally all the time, Monopoly houses, for whatever reason. But whatever, I get a box, and whatever was in it was Lego. And overall, back in my first time I put the ad in the paper, and I lived with my friends in the house, I would say mid 70s to early 80s sets. So a lot of classic space, original, nothing like Blacktron or whatever, and a lot of 4.5 volt stuff, which was awesome back then. Like, this is how I got so much 4.5 volt stuff. Now I had my own, but I got a lot of 4.5 volt stuff back when I put that ad in the paper. And a lot of those universal sets, the 744s, I think it was, with the yellow bricks and whatever, and the black 4.5 volt motor in the battery box. I don't know. I did an inventory one time. I think I have at least 15 or 20 of the 4.5 black, yellow, blue motors, and battery boxes that some are batteries exploded in. So that was the first range, but I did get lots of classic space. But again, when I showed up at the person's house, I did not know what was in there. And I would, hey, $40 for that box. Thank you. I'd take it home and then sort it out. And sometimes, woohoo, classic space. And that made me exceedingly happy. But whatever was in there, even if it wasn't classic space, made me happy too. So it's a win-win. And I'm in my early to mid 20s buying Lego. Well, early 20s for the first one. It was late 20s when I put the ad back in the paper. And I lived on my own. And I was driving a pickup truck around, and that's when I went out to Selkirk. So the first time I'm living at the in our house, shared house with my friends, and here's a quick story, and I don't know if you heard this, but I probably did. What would happen is that I put the ad in the paper. I was living with 3 friends in Winona, and we all had CBs because that's what we had back then. In our vehicles, so we could talk to each other, go driving up to the cottage and stuff. And what would happen was that I'd come home from work, have a shower, have dinner with my buddies, and then we'd get a phone call. Hey, Dave, Lego over and such and such. Okay, it's fine. I get my I didn't have a pickup truck, I had a car. I start driving over, and all of a sudden I get, hey, Dave, this is your buddy at the house. So we got another phone call. Somebody else over on whatever road has more Lego. Ooh! So I would pick up one. I got 2 or 3 calls a night, and I'd be driving around town. Now, it was Hamilton, and sometimes I would get a call like from far away, and I'm going, because Hamilton Spectator was, back then, had a huge range of, influence. And so if somebody called me up from Flamborough, which I had a few phone calls from Flamborough, I'm not driving all the way out there from Winona. I'm just not doing it. Now I would do it because whatever. But back then, oh, sorry, dude, I live in Winona. I'm not coming out there. So I did skip a few. Say la vie. But the second time I put the ad in the paper, there was cell phones. And again, the guy called me from Selkirk. And I drove all the way to Selkirk, which is 10 times farther than, well, not 10 times, but it's a lot farther than Flamborough. And that was fun. And again, whatever I got, there's a few where, $300. No, I'm not paying $300. This is back then. But now it would be well worth more than $300. But there was a lady and a guy, and I think they were salespeople, and they were high-end, pushy salespeople. Because the second I showed up, and they were like, dressed to the nines, and they had the fancy cars in the driveway, and they had this box of brick that couldn't be more than a cardboard box that probably wouldn't hold more bricks than this. And they wanted $300. I said, everything I bought, and I put $100 max in the paper. That was my both times in the paper. $100. The guy in Selkirk I made an exception for. But and they, this is worth $300. This is what we pay for it. And I'm going, you didn't pay $300 for these pieces, because I know Lego and I've been watching, I've been buying all my life. and it was used, and the windows were scratched and blah blah. I mean, it was Lego is being used, right? And I said, nothing in here more than $60. And they said, oh, and they were like, oh, you're lowballing. I'm like, no, I'm see by. Like, I'm not interested. I don't need high pressure. This was like a garage sale thing. This is like, hey guys, if you want to get rid of your Lego, I'm willing to pay up to $100, and I'll come to your house and pick it up. That was my ad, right? I'm not willing to be pressured into buying $300 worth of $60 worth of Lego, to me. And so there were a few ones out of both times I put the ad in the paper that I just walked away because I said I'm uncomfortable here, and I had no problem with that. There was the guy in Selkirk. I was uncomfortable leaving with the Lego. I've said that many times because he filled up the back of my pickup truck with cardboard boxes of Lego, and it was well worth more than $125. The big one that got away, I mentioned before, Jeff and I just missed it. There was a eBay auction it started off at $4,000 US, and they were out in Dundas, which is pretty close to us, and he had 52 totes of Lego. This is early in the internet days. We had RTL Toronto, like early 2000s, and he had 52 totes of Lego, and he had it all in his garage, and he was trying to sell it, and nobody bought it during the week that it ran on eBay. And I had contact because I didn't see it until like the last hour of the bidding, and I sent him a quick email. I said, look, if nobody bids on this, I will gladly pay you $4,000 US or $4,500 US. He says, oh, if it doesn't win, I got some guy up from Ohio, and it's one of those Bricklink stores that are, I think, still around, that they had they had rented a cube van. They were getting ready to come across the border to pick it up in Dundas. And I said, ooh, so I was really sorely tempted to bid on it. And Sandy was here. Sandy and I were talking about it. We weren't married yet. But so yeah, about 20 years ago. And I contacted all the buddies on the RTL Toronto. And it was during the day, and people are working during the day. And so I didn't get a response back because I said, I don't want to be on the hook myself for $4,000, even though it was well worth $4,000. I mean, it was like 52 totes and at the time. And I'm going, oh, and nobody got back to me until the auction ended. And the guy from Ohio was driving up here to grab it because I would have bid on it. I would have. I'm not sure how I would have paid him $4,000 because it's like I was going to the bank and get a cashier's check made out. We had it, but not on a credit card. So that was the big one that got away. Now there's been a few others that I remember. I was in last year or 2 years ago. We were at Valley Village, and I was in I don't need any more Lego. I was in that phase. Which comes and goes, like today. It wasn't there. I don't need more Lego. And then I said that as we're walking into the store, and on the rack is the same store that we found the ISD in, by the way, for my buddy Joseph. We found the ISD in 17 bags or how many bags that was, but that wasn't that week. A couple weeks before, months before, whatever. It was the same store. I walk in, and there's a baggie, there's a few baggies, but most of it was Friends and whatever, and I'm just, and Mega Blocks and whatever else. There was 4 or 5 bags there. And the one I saw immediately had a old blue train track crossing. And those things are pretty rare. The old blue rail crossing. And it was just the axe of the rails. And the white pieces were probably in there too, the white 2x8s. But it was the old blue rail crossing and a few blue rail tracks, straight and curved, not tons of them, which would use back. There's a few other pieces, but what I caught my eye was another blue piece. It was a 3x6 slope, blue slope with the classic space logo on it, but not the big one, the small one. So you know immediately it's a 6890. And I said at the time, you've seen them. I have them right here. I have 5 or 6 spares, and I've already built 6890. in my totes right now, 6890, because I actually counted them. 6890 cosmic. I have 13 built in the garage right now in baggies, 13 6890s. And so I know this. I know how many I have. I didn't know 13 until I counted them a week ago, but I know how many of them I have. I have lots, and I had lots back then when I walked into Valley Village, and I saw that 3x6 slope brick with the Classic Space logo on it, that small one, and I said, "Do I really need another Cosmic Cruiser? Do I?" And at 13 plus the 4 or 5 right there that are not built in anything right now. Do I need yet another one? Now the blue crossing track would have been nice. And I think I haven't checked, but I think I have 1 or 2 over there. And blue rails and some other miscellaneous. I didn't want to look too closely because then I would want to buy it. And it was like $9.99. And then going blue rail, blue cross, and a 6890 3x6. And the rest of the 6890 wasn't in there, but there was some wing plates in there. Not 6 of them that the 6890 requires. But there was some, so it had a partial 6890 in there. And I'm going, like, really, now fate is tempting me. It's like, oh, Dave, you said you didn't want to buy any today. And I didn't. I did not buy that bag. And yet I think since then, it's got to be a couple of years now, since then, there's not a week that goes by when I'm thinking about used lot acquisitions and making these videos. That thing crosses my mind. Why didn't I buy that bag? And again, you look at the stuff I did buy. You've seen my videos. You've seen my restores. You've seen what I got today for $15. It's a great deal for $15. And yet that's the one bag. Like that's bigger to me than the $300 that family wanted, that mom and dad wanted for that $60 worth of brick. Because I use that as the antithesis of what I was going for. Whereas the guy in the Selkirk was like, oh my goodness, dude, I really appreciate what you did for me here, dude. But that bag just hanging there in the storage shelf in the toy section, I'm going, and I hope it went to somebody that appreciated it, because again, the rest of us friends and Chimas and whatever else is in Mega Block, all brand new stuff in the last 5 or 7 years, and that one bag had stuff going back to 1982. So I'm going, and before, because the blue rails were mid 70s. I mean, if you want to talk about that, the blue rails before the gray rails. So that goes way back. And that would have been a perfect lot for me. And so I think that's why I think about it that, because of forget the Classic Space, even though that's the best part to think about. The bag was holding parts and pieces from the mid 70s to the early 80s. And that's exactly my zone of wonderfulness. And that's what I look for in used lots. I found a used lot up in Smithville, or close to Smithville, on Highway 20. That was my absolute favorite lot in that era. It was pre-minifig. It was pre-non-moving arms and moving legs minifig. It was from 1968 to 1974. It came with those big 1x5x5 blue doors that on the semi-trucks that they used to come up with in the early 70s. It had 2 4.5 volt motors. I did a whole video on that. I had the transparent 1x6 bricks that had taxis and whatever else is on it. And it had the 4x5, 4.5 volt lights that didn't have the hole in the middle, didn't have the centering peg in the middle, just had the 2 prongs. And again, a battery box that was crap. But it came with the 9-tooth red gears that came out. The gear sets, the 002 gear sets. I don't remember it coming with tank treads, which again, you also know I love. But I love that set. I'm glad I got it. I drove out there, and it was in a nice box too, and it was not played with since the mid 70s, which I thought was fantastic. And I got to refurbish a motor. I got to fix a 4.5 volt motor and make it whole again. I remember that lot, and I remember a lot of lots that I've got. I remember getting the SEQ lot, which to me is in the top 5 greatest things that I've ever purchased and looking for Lego, because it was so unique, and there's nothing that unique that I've ever found before or since. I mentioned that before. But again, I mentioned this a billion times, I've been so blessed in my Lego finds. And again, when I even talked about this, and I said, oh, I was looking for this because I'm going to refurbish a Megacore magnetizer. I'm going to reconstitute a Megacore magnetizer, and I need this. So all this over in Bricklink, and lo and behold, if I waited a week, I would have found one, because I just got it today. Now, then I wouldn't have been able to refurbish the LA Avenger, whatever they call it. But oh well, Megacore or that guy. There's no contest. But since I was ordering parts for the Megacore anyway, I ordered the radar dish. But even this lot today, I was just packing up from, I was doing a remote fix in Cambridge. And I said, before I head home, I'm going to see if there's, I was having a little bit of a lunch before I hopped in the car. And I went on the marketplace, and the very first hit was like, that's the Blacktron 2 thing, and Ice Planet. Forget the other things. And it's $15. Okay, so quick text. I said, is it still available? Yes, it is. She got right back to me instantaneously. I said, look, I can come right now, or I can come after dinner. And she goes, well, I'm home till 2. I said, start the car. And actually, I had lots of time. And so I got there at like 1 o'clock. She came down. Here's the bag of stuff and blah, blah, blah. Oh, thank you. Here's $15. And then I got to bring it home and wash it and realized that the weight's gone to beige, but whatever. I don't care about the Technic. I should care about the Technic, but I don't care about the Technic. It was the 2 classic space sets that I care about, and I'm going to refurbish now, reconstitute now. So this one's going to last a little while. And then I got to make all these videos for all these lots that I get. The last 2 years I got, there was a run there. This is kind of neat. And I should have kept track. I kind of regret that over the 10 years or 15 years that I've been doing marketplaces and Kijijis and stuff. I should have kept track, but there was a run there where in a year I got 3 or 4 6950s, the rocket launcher. I got 3 of 4 of them in 1 year just by marketplace lots and Kijiji lots. This is a couple years, well before COVID. And then in the last couple years, I got, how many of these guys? And again, I had 1 or 2 before, but now I have 7. And they just kept on showing up in used lots. Oh, look, it's another Robot Command Center. And then I had 12 peak, again, I mentioned this before a million times, peak of 12 Galaxy Explorers. And I gave at least 4 to the BrickFet for their charity auction, because they seem to go for a little bit of money. And I think gave 1 or 2 to friends, whatever. And so I was pretty low on the Galaxy Explorers. And then you saw I've been reconstituting for 2 years now, 2 or 3 or 4 Galaxy Explorers, right? Things come in waves, and I find that to be very, very odd. Like, I never got a Galaxy Explorer in a lot too many times before 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and all of a sudden, boom, 3 or 4 lots basically in a row. And my 854 go kart, like here's me, 1977 birthday. Or Christmas, I think it was my birthday. I got the 854, and I loved that thing. That got me the Technic kick. And then I didn't see another one until I started building my own of all the various colors and ordering the boxes from, Kijijis or Brinklinks or eBay, so I could have the 854 948 boxes in the display. I do have to find another 854 box because mine's really crappy. Whoever sold it to me is like covered in marker and stuff. But I want a nice looking one. But I did not get an 854 in any used lot for decades. For literally decades. I never got an 854 at any point that I saw in a used lot. And then 3 or 4 last year. I've sold 2 of them, right? It is like to friends that never had one before. Where'd that come from? And this is from 1977. Like, it's like, I get, like, if you're buying lots of used lots now and you want like a friend set from 4 years ago, you're going to find it, like the Value Villages, every single week that I go there to Value Village, there's bags on the wall of friends colors, and I don't bother because it's friends. And I mean, they're beautiful sets. Again, I don't want to disparage any of it. The friend sets are absolutely gorgeous, and I would love to buy that modern house that I saw at the Lego store a couple weeks ago. That's a gorgeous set just for the set itself. Forget that it's friends. It's a gorgeous looking building. But I'm not going to, because I don't have the space, the time, or the money. So that's the 3 things. But anyway, I got this thing up to 34 minutes. So, yes, now I am done. I thought that was a worthy tangent, and I tried to focus on the tangent and get it done without going off on other tangents and forgetting what I was talking about. There you go. I can do it when I want to do it. So that's it. That's all. I hope everybody out there is doing well. By the time you see this, I'm going to be setting up for the Niagara Falls Comic Con in downtown on Stanley at the Niagara Falls Convention Center. I'm going to have a blast. I love Niagara Falls, and I love, well, I've never been to a Comic Con before, so I've been to Anime North, and I've been to Mississauga Comic Expo, but that's tiny compared to the Niagara Falls Comic Con. Sylvester McCoy is going to be there, and if you don't know who Sylvester McCoy is, I'm feeling very bad for you. He is Doctor Who number 8. He was the last Doctor in the first run of this show from 1960 to 1980 or whatever, when it's canceled. Now, I watched all of them from this third Doctor to the 8th Doctor until it was canceled. And then I watched the movie in 1999, the New Year special. That was fantastic. Sylvester McCoy was also Radagast in like the Hobbit. And if, you know, I love The Hobbit, first of all, and I love Sylvester McCoy, secondly, and he got to play Radagast. Not only Doctor Who, one of my favorite franchises of all time, he was in The Lord of the Rings, well, in The Hobbit, which is close enough, which is fantastic. I love that guy. So he's going to be there. I don't know if I'm going to see him. I'm just going to bring him my layout, and I'm going to stand behind the stanchions there, and I'm going to talk to people and wave and say, hey, look at my layout, should you show desire. And if you want to talk about it, I'm here for it. But I'm going to be at the Niagara Falls Comic Con Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so it's Niagara Falls. So if you're in the area, stop in, say hi. And I think this is going to drop before that weekend. But it's going to be, I think I'm already up to June 3rd or 4th now. But anyway, that's it. That's all. Long and prosper. I'll talk to you guys soon.